All right, guys, we just got some really big news on 1031 tax exchanges. So if you are a real estate investor or a real estate agent, this video is absolutely for you. I'm Byron Lazine, real estate broker, team leader, and investor. And just last night, some news came out from the National Association of Realtors. I'm going to go through the entire email, which discusses proposals included in the Biden proposal, which impact housing. And there are some key housing provisions that we're going to cover here in this video. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so you see breaking news, National Association of Realtors. They've been talking about this plan back and forth. If you've been following it, it started at like $3.5 trillion. Now it's down to $1.75 trillion. And so it includes hard-fought NAR, so that's National Association of Realtors. National Association of Realtors, if you're not familiar, has one of the biggest lobbyist groups in all of government. And so they are fighting for priorities like investments in the affordable housing, which we all know we need tons and tons of affordable housing, which we are lacking in this country, down payment assistance, and then sparing real estate investment from the most feared taxes. When this plan initially came out, there was a lot of worry and even proposals from the administration that 1031 tax exchanges would go completely away. This allows an investor to basically roll all of their profits and investment from one commercial piece of real estate into the next investment and avoid paying any capital gain taxes. That was going to go basically away in their first proposal, but let's see what they address here in this new, now reduced $1.75 trillion framework. So before we get to that on the 1031, we'll just cover quickly here the historic investment in affordable housing. The framework, the $1.75 trillion, would include $150 billion investment in affordable housing. It's a key National Association of priority, and so that's really good news. Bob Goldberg, CEO, joined other housing leaders and key members of Congress near the Senate steps for a press conference calling for the inclusion of affordable housing provisions on the final bill. So everybody's excited about that. I haven't dug into that, quite frankly. Tax provisions spare real estate investments. This is the big one here, folks. This is the one that if you're a real estate agent who works with investors, an investor yourself, somebody who wants to get into real estate investments, this should be really good news for you. The plan is, so they have tax provisions which are sparing some of the 1031 being removed, and they're saying it's going to be paid for with new taxes on high-income individuals and businesses. Okay, so you could debate whether that's a good thing or not, but the most feared taxes on real estate investment were excluded. Okay, some of the earlier tax proposals, again, floated, would have devastated the real estate sector, which makes up 1/5 of the entire economy. And hey, listen, let's just face it. In these inflationary times, that 1/5 of the entire economy, that could be going up, as real estate is a place where people want to be putting their money right now. This framework has no 1031 like-kind exchange limits. Remember, I said earlier, a 1031 exchange is when you're taking your commercial, it's a like-kind investment. So if you have a 5-unit building and you're selling it and now you want to get a 12-unit building, you can take all those profits. Say you bought the 5-unit building 5 years ago and now it's time to cash out. You've got a great offer. Instead of paying taxes on that gain because that was an investment property, you can take that entire investment and roll it in to the 12-unit purchase. And you have a time period to do that. So it's not like you can just like wait your whole life to do it. You have to do it relatively quickly. No capital gain tax increase. That's big news. No change in step up in basis. No tax on unrealized tax gains. No increased estate tax. No carried interest provisions. And no 199A limits. The tax provision of this framework is very positive for consumers, property owners, and the real estate economy. And so it goes on to say, how hard everybody worked on this. The plan does not mention state and local SALT tax deduction relief. However, congressional leaders still support an increase in the SALT cap. Okay. And so there you go. It does not look like we are going to see this 1031 tax exchange go away, which means investors don't have to sell properties off here before the end of the year, where there was going to potentially be a change in 22. You know, I think a lot of investors are going to say, whew, I'm keeping my real estate. I'll be able to do a 1031 if I find a deal next year or into the future. Now, this proposal that basically the administration came out yesterday and presented this downgraded proposal, this 1.75 down from the $3 trillion proposal, is not approved. I mean, as of last night, the Democrats could not agree. So on going forward with this, and then obviously everybody's got to agree, and that's all politics stuff that I do not cover on this channel. But there is not an agreement in place. So just because it's out, I guess potentially doesn't mean it could go back in. But it to me, it shows that, okay, this is one of the things that is going to, they got to appease the masses on these things, right? Where everybody's got to be in alignment and agree for a bill to move forward. So it tells me that the majority of people, the senators in the House and the Senate, do not want to see this 1031 tax exchange go away. And so they are taking it out through their negotiations, right? They don't get to these places without a little bit of negotiation. Tells me that people are in agreement that the 1031 tax exchange and some of these other provisions that help people invest in real estate and grow their money in the real estate industry is a good thing. And it's a good thing that they're keeping it. If this video brought you any value, by the way, please consider subscribing. Leave in the comments if you'd like me to go deeper on what the 1031 tax exchange, how it works, all of that. Be happy to do a video on that. I'll see you guys on the next one.